Camera 1, camera 2, camera 3.
Yeah.
All right, we're good. What's up, dude? All right. Let's talk about you for a second. What did you major in? And then aren't you trying to get a PhD?
No.
No?
Not
Okay.
even. No. I am majoring in electrical and biomedical engineering.
Wow, if this is not a job interview, why don't you say it less like I am majoring in just relax, baby. I would like to be a comedian.
There you go. Yeah.
No. That's cool, man.
I'm told laughter is the best medicine, so doctors are not for me. And that was a horrible joke. I should just never repeat that line ever again.
No, man, that's the premise of Patch Adams. It was a great movie.
Ashley, Stoneman, she told me I could be the Patch Adams because I got accepted to Johns Hopkins.
Yeah.
And I said no.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that.
Because I decided that this was better life for me.
Bad call, but
yeah.
No, I'm fucking. Wasn't it like an 8-year program though? It was like
Yes.
a big commitment. So it was like MD, PhD.
That would have been a PhD program.
Okay,
100%.
Only PhD or MD with it?
So they would have me do so the PhD was more of like the first 4 years of the 8 years would be me getting a master's / PhD.
Okay.
And then beyond that, they would put me in a resident program.
Okay.
In the hospital itself.
Okay.
This is basically their way of saying, we need / want you.
Yeah.
Because there aren't enough people who are doing both engineering as me.
Yeah, because biomedical and
Electrical.
We're yeah.
building a cyborg.
Yeah, I was going to say, you could single-handedly make the T-1000 kill us all. Nice. Cool, man. Good for you. I look forward to the liquid metal cop coming to kill us all.
Instead, I like to make people laugh.
No, man, that's super noble, and I think you went about it that's the cool
in the
thing.
wrong way.
No. I was gonna say the cool thing about you is you're 100% in right fucking now.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people get their toes wet doing a couple open mics and then go for it.
Mm-hmm.
But you have an energy about you that's good. It's contagious. You're happy. You're fun. You're excited.
Thank
you
you.
want to do comedy. Unapologetically excited about doing it, and that's pretty much how I carry myself still, where I was oh, this is fucking awesome. Every time I take the stage, I just try and remember, just have fun with it, and whatever happens because I've only been doing it 2.5 years, which in the grand scheme isn't shit.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the cool thing about this is every 6 months, you'll probably notice it as well, but every 6 months, if you really keep at it the way you're doing it, you're going to notice that you're just a better version of yourself at comedy, which is cool.
I've already, because I upload my stuff to YouTube.
Yeah.
And not every time I record, I don't upload every single time because they're not always that great.
Yeah.
But when I do, and now I'm recording my second YouTube special is what I call them.
Yeah.
I've already noticed that I'm so much more comfortable on stage.
Yeah.
And even the way I hold a microphone,
it
makes a difference.
That's ballsy. Already putting your stuff on YouTube, but
I've heard that from a few people.
It doesn't, dude. It doesn't fucking matter though, because if you want to do it, just do it.
Yeah, my logic is I'm not getting 100,000s of views anyway.
But the thing is, you want to do it, you don't care. It's if you're not getting the views, nobody gives a fuck. Mm-hmm. It's just one of those things when you're further on down the road. Well, yeah, it might even be fun. People that become fans of yours can see when you first started.
Yeah,
it's dude, if you get better, which you will, if you keep at it for years and years and years, you're gonna be yeah, shit, this was me when I first started.
I sucked in the beginning.
Yeah, dude, it's tough. I don't like watching videos of myself doing comedy.
It's tough for me to watch.
Yeah, it's a necessary evil, and I'll record every set and listen to it as well, which is again pretty tough. But it's I do that. I rewrite. I just keep.
You do audio recording or video?
Audio.
Okay.
Because videos are cool, but it's at this point, I'll do that once in a blue moon just to study, and then if I need a clip to submit to festivals and whatnot, then you need video. But it's on the daily, if you're just grinding it out, just audio because it's easy. You listen to it. It's if you have something very acted out that you need to see,
mm-hmm.
but it's I'd say a lot of it is just listening to your jokes, the timing, pacing. It's are you really going to forget to do a physical act? Probably not. Not if it's, integral to the joke. But I don't know, man. Again, I'm still pretty fucking new at this. So it's just we're in the same boat.
I just well, the only thing that I saw, like your post about you going to New York, so
Yeah.
low-key is pretty much famous now. And from there, I was like, shit, you're actually doing stuff. And then I look at myself, because when I first started,
Yeah.
I saw you perform, and then I saw Zach.
Yeah.
And then I
Zach's
saw...
my roommate, yeah.
Yeah, and I saw... I don't remember who the third guy was, to be honest. It wasn't Will. It was somebody else, and I can't remember his name.
Nick Ladorf? Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I mean,
yeah, Nick, Will, Zach, and I are at Crunchies every week, so...
Because when I went up there and I saw you, I was like, damn, he's better than me. And then
I appreciate that, but it's... Yeah, thanks, man. But it's just
that was the
grinding
biggest,
it out.
biggest reason I stayed at Crunchies was actually because of you.
You mean like just doing it, or?
Well, because I saw you up there so often, so I
Oh.
was like, if I spend enough time just watching him or just chilling there as he's doing his shit, I'm gonna get better just by observing.
I appreciate that, but I feel like you're blowing smoke up my ass. But I do appreciate that. Thank you. But
I've been to a other. I'm not gonna say that. I'll tell you after the podcast. 'Cause I don't
Yeah.
want to like mess myself up. But I've been to another area. Yeah, that's whatever.
that's whatever. Yeah.
Another popular comedy place, and I just can't help but notice that these people just don't want to be there, and it's very clear that it's unorganized. That
I mean, dude, that's just like that's how mics go. Like we're spoiled in Michigan. Like
we are.
Yo, yeah. To a degree. Like I'd say, like I went to New York, Chicago, LA. I actually,
God damn.
like, well, like you gotta feel it out, man. Like
Yeah.
you gotta get out of your comfort zone. You gotta go places where nobody knows who the fuck you are. And like most cities, big cities, you get 2 minutes. It's a room full of other people that just want to be comedians. Nobody gives a fuck who you are. They just want
Really?
to do the time. Yeah, and you get 2 minutes to make people laugh.
2 minutes?
2.5, sometimes up to 4, depending. And that's like open mics. And there's 3 or 4 a night that you can hit, right? And
Oh, okay.
so like maybe you get 6 minutes total that night, which is cool. And then you can work on the same joke 3 times in a row or the same bits 3 times in a row in 2-minute increments. But in Michigan, it's like, or Midwestern places, you get 7 minutes like as a new person. And it, like now that I'm further along, I like 7 minutes is like too long for somebody who's never done comedy before. So it's like, I don't know, man. If I see somebody new at Crunchies, I'll give them like 4 minutes. I'll be like, hey, you're new, like you go.
Yeah, that's
Or,
what
like,
you gave me. And it worked out very well.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like when you walked up and you're like, hey, can I do some time? And it's like we also book way different in Michigan. It's like every mic is almost pre-booked. Whereas like you
That's
go
not
to
what
New
it is.
York or
Yeah.
Chicago or those big cities, it's like you put your name in a fucking bucket and you go up when they call you.
Wow.
Yeah, I've been to places where they just draw from the bucket and read. New York has it down to a fucking science where they do groups of 5, so they draw 5 names. It's a mini lineup. You do that group, and then they draw another 5, which was cool. At first, I was like, "What the fuck?" But it's kind of cool because you know when you're on deck at least, and you can kind of get ready.
So when you went to like New York, did you not know if you were going to perform at those open mics? You just
Yeah, no, I didn't. I at a few I knew because I messaged friends who messaged the people running the mic.
Oh, okay.
So it's like it's cool. That's the other thing is you start to network and know people.
Yeah.
And it's like running a show is good because when you run a show, it's that whole fucking everybody tugging everybody off type of shit. Help me, help you type of stuff, which is important though because it's like one. If you run a show, it shows like you give a shit about trying to do comedy. You're also giving opportunities to your peers, which is cool. And then again, it lets people know like, hey, this person's working. Maybe they're good. So, so luckily, like I have friends that have moved to those cities, and like I'll message them like, hey, I'm coming out. Like I'd like to do some mics, and they'll be like, cool, I'll vouch for you, which is nice. And then I'm also like barely getting to a level where I can like MC a real show or like at a low level feature spot. So it's like if I get it like a bar show in one of those cities, I just hit up as many mics as I can while I'm there just to meet the local people, dude. Like, there's so many good and so many bad in all that city. Like just amplify what we have here. You know how we have like few pretty good people, a few people that aren't great like at all, and then a lot of people in the middle. Just take that bell curve and fucking make it massive. And that's what you're dealing with. Yeah, dude. But it's so fucking inspiring because when you see somebody amazing there, you're like, holy shit, this person's on fire. And that'll light a fire under your ass, man.
It's humbling too, I bet.
Oh yeah, every fucking day. Like
But you only see them for 2 minutes?
2.5 to sometimes 4. But the cool thing is, again, you see who's grinding it out because you'll go to several mics, and then within like 2 days, I started to see the New York open mic comedians like at my level, they like just grinding it out. And even if you don't introduce yourself at first, those first couple of shows, you see each other, and you're like, oh, that's a familiar face. And then you know that's how you build connections and friends. I would think in that scene is like you see the same people like working. And then if you vibe with them, you think you're funny, you're like, all right, cool, you're my buddy now. Let's try to ascend together.
Right. Ari Shaffir has like a really cool, it's like just 4 hours of straight advice.
I was going to say him, Ralphie May, like if you're first starting off, I think every comedian like at our level in this day and age has probably watched those clips.
Ari's is really cool. And he had a really good analogy about when you're a comic and you want to like you should help your friends. Yeah, you shouldn't hide open mics from them.
No, dude, there's like shitty people that do this. We were talking about it before.
Yes.
I've met some of the coolest people on the planet because of stand-up comedy, and then I've met some
dirtbags,
just horrible people. Where I'm like, oh, you're the worst, and. As a
person or a comic?
Oh, as a person. Because as a comic, sometimes it'll be fucking hilarious. Yeah. Like there's a few people, like not in our scene, but just like people like famous that are like very funny. I think they're funny, but they're like off stage. You're like, oh,
don't want to be around you.
Yeah, exactly. And some people, you know, are abrasive towards that. I try to just take the like keep my head down, write my own fucking jokes, be friends with who I want to be friends with, be cordial to everybody else. And like,
just do your thing.
Just do it, yeah. Because like you were saying, like helping your friends out is key.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, but some people have, I think, the idea that comedy is like a zero-sum game, and it's like if I have fans, you don't have fans. If people buy tickets to this show, they won't buy tickets to that show. It's like maybe when money's involved, right? But it's like, dude, if you're funny enough and you carve out your own fans, like that's all. That's where. It's like, yeah, dude, people can be fans of both or either. It's just like showing.
Yeah, you don't have like a patent on a person.
Exactly. Yeah.
You can like more than one comedian.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not as if you have to only be one guy.
It's weird because stand-up comedy, I think, is narcissistic at its core. Like certain core elements are hugely narcissistic. Where it's like a room full of people like, shut up, look at me, laugh, please laugh, give me the attention I want. Let me feel good that I elicited laughter from you, and then we'll go on our way. But it's like, yeah, that's narcissistic, right? But I remember when I was real new and like that first startup thing, I was like, I just want to make people laugh. Like the altruistic, like you were saying, like, oh, laughter's the best medicine. Like the dumb, super naive part of me, like believed that. And here's the thing, like I still hold on to that, like to a core. Like I think you need to have some core elements that you just hold on to no matter what. Don't let people break you down, or like even bad shows. I've had shows where I'm like, oh, I fucking want to cry, or just like fuck that dude. Like I've had a heckler get to me before. Like I've had hecklers get to me. I've bombed. I've eaten shit, and it's like, yeah, but you take your licks, and if you can do that and keep going on, that's how you start to earn your stripes. At least I think, because I'm like, if you can eat hog. And then get up and do it again. Like
yeah.
It's like I don't know.
If you can eat hog.
How long have you been doing it? Yeah.
I just love the way you said that. Because some people are like, if you don't do as well, if some nights aren't as good, if you eat hog.
Yeah, if you just eat hog, dude. Just smashing cocks on stage, like, or clam. I don't know if girls. Nobody ever says that, but I'm not gonna bit it up right now. Why don't anybody say eat pussy on stage? No, man. But like, how long have you been doing this?
For me it'll be 1 year in July.
Okay. So it's like, yeah, dude, just keep the fuck at it. Like within that first year, I had no idea what I was doing. I was like, good, just keep getting on stage and doing it. Like that's it. Yeah, just keep doing it. Like
every comedian has always said, like, what's the number of advice you can give to any comic? They're like, just as many times you can get on stage, just get on stage.
Yeah, just do it. Here's the thing, I have a problem to the point where like the first couple of years I did it, and even now, like I have to schedule days off or like family events, shit where I'm like, no, I need to be a real person still. Because like I listen to Patton Oswalt, and he was talking like,
I love Patton Oswalt.
Yeah, dude, he's one of the guys that inspires me. But like he was talking about how, like, if you really want to do it, it'll consume your life for like a few years. Where it's like that's all you do.
I'm
all
beginning to see
do.
that actually.
And yeah, it's kind of where I'm at. Where I'm like work, comedy, a little bit of like social life, a little bit of me time just to stay sane. And then again, some stuff happened last year where like I only went home to see my parents like once, and maybe my extended family once. So I saw my parents like twice last year, and my brother. And like that's where I took a beat, and I was like, all right, like I still live in Michigan. While I'm here, I need to make sure I go to see them more. Because once you start writing and learning like how you craft jokes and living life is a big part of that, live some life. And two, I'm like, comedy's probably like the most important thing to me, but it's like I learned like you gotta at least for me anyways, for my family, I was like, nah, I'll cancel a show if somebody calls on me. Or like friends, like very close friends, like they're like, hey man, I need you for this, or like a super special event's coming up, I'll be like, you know what, I can ditch the mic that night. Because it's like, dude, I'd rather have close friends, close family, and keep pursuing comedy than alienate everybody and maybe be mediocre at comedy.
What you said about having a life is very, very important. And I think that's because I was discussing this with somebody else, and actually I was discussing this with my parents.
Yeah.
And because we have... I don't know if you can tell the color of my skin or my ethnicity being Indian.
Yeah, you're very brown.
I know.
Yeah. He's different looking.
They were not fans of me doing comedy. They're still not.
What is with ethnic parents not digging
I'll tell
comedy,
you.
man?
I will tell you what it is.
Like, white parents are just kind of like, I guess we failed. But ethnic parents like, fucking motherfucker. Like, they're like, they can't stomach the failure. Yeah, like... It's like, I feel like you get disowned. I'm sure there's been some people that have made this joke before, but it's like, yeah, dude.
Oh, yeah, the disown part?
Yeah.
A little exaggerated, but at the core value, it's true. At the core, it's true.
Well, yeah, I mean, are your parents first-generation immigrants? Yeah, man, that's why. They came to America, they're like, you go to Johns Hopkins, and you be a doctor. Mm-hmm. And then you're like, hey guys, I want to fucking sleep in a car for 13 years and maybe make zero money. And they're like, oh, well, thanks for fucking up this Easter egg basket
we worked so hard to come here. Now it's like, now you got to work hard to go back.
Well, but I'll say this because I'm just as delusional as the next person. Like, I'm going to make it. And like stuff like that. But you have a fire about you and a work ethic that if you keep writing... and you're kind, you're humble, respect the light, respect your time, just keep grinding away at it, like, you'll be good enough to make money doing this.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, dude.
You're already, like, farther than I am, so that means a lot coming from you.
I appreciate that, but again, it's like, if you're at the ground floor, I'm on rung number 1. Like, I've been paid to tell jokes, but sometimes when I get paid, I'm like, is this real? Like, did I trick them into thinking? Like, I'm like, all right, no, but... Now I'm comfortable at saying, like, no, certain positions, like, especially emceeing a show, I'm like, no, I'm worth that. Like, I can MC your show. And it's a weird line of, like, keeping humble, keep on the grind, but also at some fucking point you gotta be like, am I good enough to, like, do this?
Yeah.
And then you peek your head up out of the foxhole, like, yeah, I think I can. And you run to the next foxhole to make a weird military analogy. But it's like...
Absolutely.
But it's like, yeah, man, like, if you keep the fuck at it, like... I don't know if it's intuition or something, but like, again, that spark you have, and like, dude, even watching you at Crunchies, which I always think Crunchies is kind of a tough crowd because it's like half drunk college kids, half apathetic college workers that are like, damn it, like the amount of people at the open mic level that like you either have super loyal like open mic comedy fans where I'm like, oh, you people are crazier than us.
Exactly.
Yeah,
no,
like
I
you
agree.
Fucking watch open mic comedy every week, like okay.
I don't even do that.
Yeah, dude. But we do when we're at shows. But it's like after a while, we're like, "Fuck, what?" Like, I guess I'm watching it again. But like, they're there. I'm like, okay, you people are going to heaven. I don't know what past life you fucking lived, where they're like, sit down and watch amateur comedy for years, and they're like, I love it. Like, but anyways, at Crunchies, I see you there, and like, you're a newer dude, but you got a glow about you, and you're just excited. You're fun. I can tell you right. Like you were saying about the whole like, like I accidentally did somebody else's joke. It's like, dude, you're emulating, I'm sure, a hero of yours.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I still do that where like people will come up to me and they're like, oh, who are your favorite comics? And I'll tell them and they're like, oh yeah, that kind of bled through there. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Like, I'm not me yet.
Yeah,
Like,
that's what I was saying. I did not know I was doing that because when you're even when you're starting off like in a sport or any sort of event, you don't, like, I think it's called like finding your voice. You don't really know what you're trying to look for yet. You just have to keep doing it until you're like,
just do it. Yeah.
This works for me, this doesn't. So I'm gonna go that way.
I'm blanking on his name. I think it's John Cleese. But are you a Monty Python fan at all? Those
I've seen it such a long time ago.
I was gonna say a lot of like.
I like John Cleese.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, I study old comedy as well, like old SNL, Simpsons, Monty Python stuff, just because I like going back to the classics and seeing like what's still funny, that timeless humor. Because a lot of stuff's dated, man. Like if you listen to a comedy album from like the 80s, 90s,
Eddie Murphy Raw,
it shows its age. But some stuff, the stuff that still gets a gut laugh, like 4 decades later, those are the jokes where I'm like, study that. Why was that funny? But anyways, so the Monty Python guys and John Cleese specifically was talking about like comedy as an art, and he's like, yeah, you're gonna emulate like any other art people you like. Yeah. So it's like, yeah, dude, if you were an artist and you liked Picasso, I'm sure a lot of your original in quotes, but your initial stuff is going to look a lot like fucking Picasso, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like, yeah, man, I listen to some of my old sets and people are like, oh, you sound like this guy a lot there. I'm like, yeah, I probably do because he's a huge influence on me. Right. But it's like, it's cool to keep your influences and then break away and become yourself. Mm-hmm. And it's like every now and again I get a glimpse of that where I'll listen to my set and be like, oh, that sounded like kind of just like me dicking around. And I'm like, yay! Like, yeah, I think that's a joke. And then you gotta like repeat that
in your own voice, and that's how you grow.
Yeah, I think so.
I remember what I was gonna tell you. Yeah. Okay. So the thing about the ethnic humor and like we talked about this with Ashley, and because she's trying to get like, I completely like what she's doing, like trying to diversify the comedy scene here more. Yeah. And what I told her was, like, coming from an Asian family, and I know a lot of other people, they don't want to do comedy. Yeah. It's not, I'm not trying to be racist or anything like that. It's just that as an Indian, I can tell you, I'm the only Indian I know that wants to do comedy. And part of the reason for that is because every other sort of like Indian or Asian person, they don't live enough. And I mean this, I don't mean this in the sense of like you're dead inside. Yeah. What I mean is, for you to be a successful stand-up comic, you have to talk about what you know. It's like they when you're on stage, they want to know who you are. And I've noticed this through YouTube as well. Yeah. When you're subscribing to a channel, more often than not, they're subscribing to the person. It's like, we like you.
Well, it's your brand, right? Like, exactly. You got to be you. Yeah, man.
So for someone who... And thankfully, my parents aren't guilty of this as much, but for a majority of my friends who I grew up with, their life was, you go to school, you come home, do your homework, take extra tutoring classes, and you're at home and you were safe. Yeah. My parents didn't give a fuck about me when I did.
Well, so there you go. That's why you're a comedian. Like,
that's what it is.
We're all a little fucked up. Here's the thing, though. Most of that was racist. Just because he's brown, don't give him a pass.
A level of neglect is necessary to be a comedian. Sure.
I think so. Like, it's weird because you see a lot of people just venting on stage, which I'm like, nah, all right, I get it if it's an open mic and you're having a bad day. We've all done it. But then you see some people where I'm like, you need a therapist. Yes. But it's like, yeah, dude, the deeper and deeper I go into it, it's like every comic is damaged goods somewhere. But I've also theorized like every person on the planet is damaged goods. It's just the stand-up comics are the ones that are like, oh, I'm going to talk about it on stage, or just I want to talk on stage.
Like, that is our therapy.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, I used to talk with friends. I'm like, you think like you drive by like a truck driver on the highway and you think like he's got it figured out, he's fine. I'm like, no, he's probably as fucked up as us. It's just he's a truck driver. He's not a stand-up comic. It's like, okay.
That's a really good point.
Like, nah, dude, I say that a lot because a lot of stand-up friends, it's like a cool, fun inside stand-up thing, I think, to be like, oh, we're all fucking damaged goods, and this is why I'm a comic. But I'm like, yeah, No, we're probably comics because we want to talk on stage, and we're borderline narcissistic in some ways, or altruistic.
Or are narcissistic.
Or altruistic and truly wanting to make people laugh. I've met some comics that are so humble off stage where you're just like, oh, that person just really wants to help somebody else out. But the biggest thing, I'm like, yeah, dude, we're just talking about it. Like, go have coffee with any fucking stranger, and if you're good at talking to them, you podcast with any random person. And if you're having a genuine conversation, I guarantee they're fucked up inside of 5 minutes. Like, I guarantee it. Nobody's unfucked with on planet Earth. There's not one person that isn't fucking weird, dude. Like,
yeah, being normal is not.
That's weird.
That is weird,
yeah,
isn't it? Yeah, because
normal is weird and weird is normal. It's like, it's so. That was butt philosophy 101, but it's one of those things where it's like, if you truly meet somebody who falls in that like weird bell curve of like pretty normal, you're like, oh,
you're kind of weird.
Yeah,
you're
like,
normal.
yeah, like is like nothing fucks with you. You're like, no, I'm pretty good. You know, I like Miracle Whip instead of mayo. And you're like, all right.
That's the extent of your thought process.
But at the same time, check their freezer because they might have heads in the fucking freezer. Where you're like, oh yeah, you're normal. Okay. But no, man, I was gonna say, kind of bringing up the diversifying, and then how are you saying like, there's not that many. There's not. It's a lot of straight.
They haven't lived enough.
Well, I don't even know if it's that, but like, people are like, there's a lot of straight white guys doing comedy. I think it's just because there's an excess of us everywhere. So anywhere you go, you're gonna be like, oh, there's another straight white guy. But
that's like, okay, that's the equivalent of like me going to India, and I'm just like, man, there's a lot of brown guys doing comedy. It's like, well, yeah. There's a lot of brown guys here.
Yeah,
like,
I'll give you that. That's one thing is I'm like, yeah, there's probably just like a lot of straight white
Exactly.
dudes. I don't know what the percentage is in America,
Neither do I.
but like, so I'm talking out of my ass here, but I'm like, I'm sure if you just scaled it, like that's the thing. But as far as like, I don't know why certain people do it, I don't know. Like, I racially or sexual orientation wise, I can't really speak like, I'm a straight white guy, so I wanted to do comedy. I was like, no. Like,
yeah, that doesn't.
Like, yeah, I was just like, that didn't come to mind. I was just like, I want to do comedy. I also happen to be like a straight white dude. And I'll say this, like, I came from like, I had a pretty comfortable childhood, like financially. But again, there was that touch of neglect from my parents where I was just kind of like,
you need that little bit of neglect.
Yeah.
You need it.
Like a shroud of neglect there where I'm like, yeah, all right. Like, that's why I'm probably doing this. Because it's like I never knew exactly what I wanted to do. Like, I had a few things that I wanted to do as a career choice. And none of them were normal. So I'm like, yeah, fuck it. I'm starting here. And if that doesn't work out, I'll move on to the next one. Like,
absolutely. Something else you brought up about the like the ethnicity and comedy. I agree. It's not like straight white male equals comedian. That's not true. It's just like
I just think there's a lot of us. Like that.
Yeah, that just happens to be the case. That's why I'm like, you don't see a lot of Indians because they're just into other stuff.
Yeah, and
they just do different things.
I'll say this: it's like, I want to do anything I can do to help diversify a scene, but it's like I actively, if people are telling me somebody's shitty, this, that, or the other, I want people to feel comfortable. I don't want anybody to feel like they can't do this if they want to. Like, legitimately hit me up, and if there's like a problem, like, I'll fucking, let me fucking know, because I just don't like bullies or like people that are shitty. So it's like, there's that. But at the same time, it's like, I don't think there's going to be a TED Talk or recruitment table at MSU. Like, do you want to be a comic? Sorry, we met our white quota. I'm like, that's not how this works, man.
No.
Like, you just, for me, it was word of mouth. A drunk dude at a bar told me there was open mic comedy at Max. I went to Max. The guys there shot me down and were like, no, you're not doing our show.
Yep.
And then I was like, well, what other shows are there? And then you just fucking learn and you go from there. Like, that's how I did it. That's it. Yeah, that's how you start.
Exactly how I started.
Yeah, you just get shit on. I went
to Max and I messaged him and I was like, hey, like, new comic, do you have any open mic nights? Like, can I get on there for a show? It's like, I'd love if you had me at your venue. And they were like, no. And I'm like, okay. So after that, I started just Googling, like, what other things are here.
Yeah.
And eventually I was like, oh, there's a bar right down the street. Let's go see what's happening over there.
Is that how you found Crunchies?
Yes.
Oh, wow. All right. That's the biggest thing is, like, especially at Crunchies, if there's somebody who's new, because I remember being like the new dude. Mm-hmm. Anybody that's new that comes up to me and they're like, "Hey, can I do some time?" If it's 100% like their first time, I'll be like, "Yeah, you get 3 minutes at the end." And it's just how I am, because I'm like, if they had the courage to come up to me, to come to the show, they want to do comedy, and they're like, they're fucking amped to do it, and I can see it in their eyes. Like, I'm like, dude, it's 3 minutes. Like, fuck it. Yeah.
And 3 minutes is a good thing for someone who's new. Like, I agree completely. 7 minutes?
Yeah, 7 minutes up front.
That's a lot.
Now, Zach and I are kind of picky. We're like, all right, the people we know and we see grinding, we'll give 7 minutes. New people, I'm like, yo, 3. And they're like, cool. And then after a while, I'll toss them on, I'll give them 5. Like, when you show up now and again, I'll give you like 5 at the end. I've done it to some of the other guys. Mm-hmm. And then the pejorative there, though, I keep saying guys, because again, mostly dudes. But
not to say that female comedians aren't as funny. It's just that there aren't as many girls who want to do stand up.
You don't even need to say that. There's just not as many women doing comedy. But it's like, I hate that shit when they're like, "Oh, it's not because they're not funny." It's like, yeah, dude, they're just as funny. There's just not. Many. There's just not as many. Like,
yeah, that's true.
But no, so if somebody comes to Crunchies like you did and we've talked, like, and especially in our city, I know we're getting close to the end here, but in our city, like, I try to cultivate like the new people. I try to get them to go as much as they can in town first. And then you asked me like, "Oh, how can I get more time?" That's when I was like, you got to leave Lansing. Like, you got to do more shows around the state. But it's like, we don't have a whole lot of stage time in Lansing, so it's like if I see a newer dude that like keeps coming every week, I'll keep tossing him that 3 minutes. I'm like, like, keep trying, like. And then if they like, you got the spark, you're like, "Oh no, I do want to do this." Then I was like, "All right, cool, man. Like, hit the road," and
it's been working. Thank you for that.
Yeah, you're welcome. And then I'm like, also when you come back, 7 minutes, like, you get a full spot, like, and you're like, "All right, cool," and like, just keep at it. And I'm sure the Max guys will take notice of you being around more. That's the other thing, is it shows that you're not getting booked on. It's like that. I learned that even the bigger cities I go to, just go hang out. Go hang out and watch better comedians.
Talk to comics. Just be a part of the community.
Dude, there's no corporation or HR in comedy. It's like...
There can't be HR in comedy. Are you
kidding? There's just like a weird network where you just like, you're like, "I like that guy. He's up there." And then you talk to him and he's like, "All right, I keep working." And then you... weirdly enough, keep somehow slipping up a staircase.
It's all weird. Like, you have weird people doing weird things on stage, meeting other weird people, and it will be fun. Yeah. And if you keep coming up, you'll get better at it. Like anything else.
It's a weird... I say this too much, but I'm like, comedy's weird, man.
It is.
And I don't just mean like, "Oh, telling jokes and weird." Like, everything, the ins and outs, the writing, giggling over your notebook, and like, people are like, "The fuck?"
You do that too.
Yeah, dude.
I do that shit all the time.
That's the most excited I get to tell a joke, is when I'm sitting alone and it makes me giggle. I'm like, fuck, they might not laugh, but I think this is hilarious. And that's my favorite thing, is when it doesn't work. I'm like, fuck, I thought it was funny. And the crowd's like, "Nah, it wasn't." And you're like, all right, on to the next one. So, but yeah, man, I'd say like the setup you got going on in here, the drive, like, get a day job. Keep driving around, save up some money. That's all I got for you, man. Like, you'll eventually get paid doing smaller gigs. You'll eventually get noticed if you keep doing that. And then if you move, you start over again and do the same fucking thing you learned how to do here. And hope for the best. I don't know. Stay happy, stay positive. Dude, I'll say this. Stay happy, stay positive. And like, I know we all get depressed and down and whatnot, but if you can at least afford to keep doing comedy, try not to get bitter. Like, I'm trying now.
I've heard that before.
No, I feel it. Like, you get into the grind and there's bullshit you hate, but it's like, when you grab the mic, at least try to be fucking happy there.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll have our off nights, but it's like, I fight so fucking hard to tell myself, like, no, this is what I want to do. I should be happy that I'm trying to do this. And if you can do that, if that's it, right? None of the jokes work, nothing like that, but you keep doing it and you keep working on it. I'm like, all right. Like, better disposition, I guess, right? It's got to help. I don't know. Talk to me if I'm living in a box in 10 years. Be like, fuck, none of it worked. Fuck. Positivity doesn't work.
I'll find your box.
Yeah,
you lied to me.
Yeah, I'll be like, all right, well, there's another box right here. So fucking, let's go suck dick for McDonald's. Like, yay. And that's, you want to leave it there? Suck dick. Suck hog for McDonald's. Just eat some hog for McDonald's.
That is our time.
This is fun, man. Thank you. Oh, wait, can I plug my shit? Yeah.
Social media, man. Go for it.
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Lou the Surgeon. And then you can check out my podcasts and sketches and funny videos on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Salsa Parlor. Salsa Parlor. Whoa, Salsa Parlor. Check out Hot Takes. That's a lot of fun.
For sure, man.
Hot Takes.
I mean, I'm going to do that right after this, but thank you for coming out, bro.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate
Stay fresh, stay golden.
Stay gold, Pony Boy. What was
You know that reference?
Yeah.
You're the first person I have met who knows that reference. That's exactly where I got it from.
You fucking
The Outsiders.
Yeah, The Outsiders, man.
No one else knows that.
I fucking love that book, dude.